50 years after Ms. Magazine helped ignite a movement, Gloria Steinem still stands as one of feminism's most enduring voices. Her story begins far from the spotlight in Toledo, Ohio, where she was born on March 25, 1934. Not in a hospital but inside a trailer hitched to her father's Dodge. Her childhood was marked by instability. Her father Leo sold antiques on the road, rarely settling anywhere, while her mother Ruth, once a newspaper reporter, suffered a mental breakdown shortly after Gloria's birth. Voices and visions plagued her, leaving Gloria to navigate a home that often felt unsafe and uncertain. By the age of 10, she had attended 12 different schools, doing homework in cars between road trips and flea markets. In January 1944, her father abandoned the family during a snowstorm in Michigan, disappearing with poker winnings and leaving 9-year-old Gloria to care for her fragile mother. The furnace in their Toledo home didn't work, and the city had declared it unsafe. Her mother was institutionalized several times, forcing Gloria to buy groceries, bathe her and manage household bills while still trying to attend school. She often arrived late but learned lessons that shaped her activism. How economic dependence could trap women in silence, how survival required grit and resourcefulness, and how dignity mattered even in poverty. At 16, when a nearby church purchased their crumbling home, Gloria moved to Washington, D.C., to live with her sister. She attended Western High School, worked babysitting and cashier jobs to cover food and bus fare, and still managed to graduate with honors in 1952. That fall she entered Smith College on a scholarship, majoring in government. During the height of McCarthyism, she helped stage a satirical campus trial mocking the senator's baseless accusations. "Fear should be mocked, not obeyed," she later said. She graduated with honors in 1956. In 1957, her life took a dramatic turn. She became pregnant, and with abortion still illegal, she sought help in London. A doctor agreed to perform the procedure on the condition that she live her life fully and never reveal his name. The choice, though risky, opened the path for her future as a writer and activist. She spoke about it publicly for the first time in 1971, and it became one of the central reasons she fought for reproductive rights. That same year she traveled to India on a fellowship, living simply and studying women in rural communities. She witnessed firsthand how women from the lowest castes labored endlessly for little food yet still contributed to land reform movements. She later said those experiences revealed early forms of intersectional struggle before the word even existed. Returning to the U.S., she turned down a Harvard fellowship in order to support her mother, and instead moved to New York City in 1957. There she worked as a waitress for 80 cents an hour while pitching articles to magazines. Her first piece about the unequal cost of birth control earned $50. By the early 1960s she began gaining notice. In 1962 her essay in Esquire, The Moral Disarmament of Betty Coed, analyzed women's fears of career success and its impact on marriage. A year later, she went undercover as a Playboy bunny for a 2-part exposé that revealed grueling conditions and low pay. Though it created a media storm and spurred changes at the club, it also pigeonholed her in the eyes of editors as a writer trading on looks. Her defining shift came in March 1969, when she attended a meeting in a New York church basement where women spoke openly about illegal abortions. Listening to their painful stories, she experienced what she called the big click. For the first time she stood and shared her own abortion story. That moment transformed her from journalist to activist. Within weeks, her essay After Black Power, Women's Liberation was published in New York Magazine. The phones rang endlessly as women across the country reached out. She had found her voice. Soon she was speaking at rallies, sometimes every 10 days, holding up job listings to show stark wage gaps and responding to hecklers with wit. "I only cook up revolutions," she once quipped. In 1971 she co-founded the Women's Action Alliance, a group that created school guides, launched the first battered women's hotline, and pushed for practical resources beyond slogans. That December, she and her colleagues launched a preview of Ms. Magazine. It sold 300,000 copies in 8 days, proving there was a massive audience for women's voices. When its first standalone issue appeared in January 1972, it sold 350,000 copies, more than Esquire that month. The bold content ranged from lesbian motherhood to workplace discrimination. Ms. became both a cultural and political force. Before Roe v. Wade, the magazine published the names of 53 women, including celebrities who admitted to having abortions. Thousands more women mailed in their signatures, and the pressure helped shift the national conversation. Another iconic moment came when the magazine's cover featured Wonder Woman for president, spurring DC Comics to restore the character's lost powers. By the mid-1970s, Ms. was sold in 22 countries and published groundbreaking investigations on issues like female genital mutilation. At the same time, Steinem co-founded the National Women's Political Caucus, which trained women for public office and pushed parties to include women delegates. The number of women at the 1972 Democratic Convention jumped from 13% to 40%, and by 1980, over 200 women trained by the caucus had been elected. She also played a key role in the 1977 National Women's Conference in Houston, where 2,000 delegates drafted a sweeping plan for equality. Her books carried her influence even further. Outrageous Acts and Everyday Rebellions, 1983, became a bestseller, and Revolution from Within, 1992, sold over 1 million copies, arguing that political change required self-worth as well. HBO later adapted her Playboy bunny story into A Bunny's Tale, which reached millions and even influenced workplace harassment cases. Her activism reached into many arenas. She joined protests against nuclear weapons, testified before Congress about pornography, and championed laws expanding free cancer screenings after her own breast cancer diagnosis in 1986. Through it all, she showed that vulnerability and illness could coexist with leadership. In 2000, to the surprise of many, she married at age 66. Her partner was David Bale, father of actor Christian Bale. They kept separate homes and finances, calling each other partners rather than husband and wife. Their marriage lasted only 3 years before his death, but she later described it as the happiest political act of her life. Earlier in her life, she had had long relationships, including with Franklin Thomas of the Ford Foundation, but she always preserved her independence. Her work remained relentless. In 2005, she co-founded the Women's Media Center with Jane Fonda and Robin Morgan, creating databases of women experts and training thousands to challenge media sexism. She embraced the digital age too. After Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, she used social platforms to rally millions, posting resources and data on maternal deaths in states that banned abortion.